the juiciest and the crispiest fried chicken that you've ever had. A golden brown crust and tender meat inside. We're gonna make it all dark meat, and I can't wait to share this southern fried chicken recipe with all of you. The best recipes at your fingertips. The full recipe will be on the website as always, linked down below. And this week's theme for the Live to Cook 2022 collaboration is Heart on a Plate. Make a dish that makes you you and tell a story about you in some small form. Now let's go straight to the fried chicken, and we'll first make a beautiful seasoning mix to flavor that chicken. So start by adding in some paprika. You can use smoked paprika as well. Then some onion powder, some garlic powder, oregano leaves, some dried basil, and some marjoram, and a bit of cayenne for a little bit of heat, and then just mix this all really well. That's ready now. So in my large bowl here, I'm gonna add in all of my chicken. I'm only using legs and thighs, all dark meat, but you can choose to use white meat if you want as well. Now in this, I'm gonna add in a couple tablespoons of that beautiful seasoning mix we created earlier. That's what's gonna add all of that flavor. And then once you've added it, just make sure you give it a really good toss. Use your hands to massage it if you really want, but we just want those seasonings to be all over that chicken. Now we'll start adding in our buttermilk and just lather that chicken and flood it under that buttermilk. The longer it stays in the buttermilk, the more tender it will be, and the salt that we just added will help kind of work with the buttermilk to act as a brine and make it even juicier when we are done with it. The longer you marinate, the more the flavor. Now I'm gonna use this casserole to do the breading. It's gonna help me just do it all in bulk. Now season your flour with some salt, some pepper, and then just to help the crust get nice and puffy and flaky and crispy, we'll add some baking powder in there as well. Make sure you give this all a good mix. This is gonna season the outside of our crispy fried chicken. Now how is fried chicken my heart on a plate? Well, fried chicken has been several years, maybe like more than a decade in the making, not just in me eating it for the first time from KFC, to then experimenting with making it by myself at home, and finally now being able to share this with you. And that's why I'm really excited to see what your stories are, and I'm looking forward to all of your submissions. Now start adding in your chicken pieces in here, and don't worry about letting the excess marinade drip. You want some of that marinade to get mixed in with the flour, because all those clumps of the marinade will stick to your chicken and will really help to create a beautiful crust. In fact, just go ahead and drop a couple of tablespoons of the marinade in that flour, mix it up, and you'll have the best crust ever. Trust me on this. And here's our breaded chicken. Just do it all in bulk in advance so that frying is just so much easier. I always prefer it this way. Now I have some oil heating up in a cast iron pan here. I'm using some vegetable oil, and what you want to look for is a temperature of between 320 to 350 for that oil, because as soon as you drop that chicken in the oil, it's going to bring that temperature down. When you've added all of your chicken into that oil, you should get a sizzle just like this. Be careful when you add it into the oil, and the temperature of the oil should be hovering right around 300 Fahrenheit to cook these chickens and get that beautiful crust. Also make sure that your oven is preheating at 350 Fahrenheit, because we will be finishing the cook process in that oven. And after a couple of minutes, you'll see a beautiful crust just like this. Just make sure that the oil temperature is hovering around 300, just so that we make sure that the crust does not burn. And ever so often, just keep turning the chicken. We want to make sure that each side has an even level of color. Now, if you want your chicken to be lighter in color, then you can take it out earlier. You can always finish the rest of it in the oven. Make sure the inside is 165 Fahrenheit for that chicken on the thickest part of the meat, and you're golden, right? Now for me, this color is perfect, and you can just tell by the way I'm holding the chicken with the tongs, that crust is solid, it's crispy. And just finish these chickens in the oven. As I said, I'm gonna place them on the middle rack of my oven and just wait until the middle is 165 Fahrenheit. Just make sure that you check the temperature with more than one piece to make sure that they are all cooked evenly. Now arguably, dark meat is the way to have fried chicken because it's just the most flavorful. But if you want to have this recipe with white meat, go ahead and get some skin on, bone in chicken breast, and make sure you cut those chicken breasts in half and then do the recipe the same way that we're doing it for the dark meat. Nothing changes at all. Just make sure you look for that beautiful color outside and then you cook it in the oven until it's 165 on the inside. I'm going to show you how to make it with chicken breast in a future video. I'm going to make it into a burger, but if you want that video to be more ahead in the release slate, then just let me know in the comments down below. If people want to see it, I'll try to make some adjustments. And you guys know that I'm always cooking up something or another. Stuff that I'm not sharing on YouTube is always as a story or a post on Instagram, so make sure you're following me there. You would have seen me making this again for a quick little dinner while editing this on my Instagram channel. And make sure you vote for the destinations and scene submissions for the collaboration, and you can still take part in any of the 4 themes and be part of this cooking journey together. Hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, and share the recipe with somebody who needs some fried chicken in their life. And while you're at it, why not make some French fries as well? The oil is already hot.